Hey there guys, I wanted to show you how to access the Learning Lab resources to see the updated 2023 standards and the frameworks that have been created by the IDOE. First, I want to review accessing the St. Louis Academy curriculum frameworks that have been completed at least for ELA and math, or if you are a compartmentalized teacher, so Mr. Papin 6, 7, and 8, you've completed the social studies and the religion for 7th and 8th grade. As we continue to add to each of these frameworks throughout the year, I just want to show you what the state has created to help you add different resources. So I know science has been discussed as something that is kind of tricky for teachers to understand how to teach. So if we say grade 5 social studies, we're going to open that up here. This shows us the new 2023 science standards for grade 5. It lists which ones are essential. Down below it goes through all of the standards based on the category, so physical science, life science, earth and space science, and engineering, technology, and applied sciences. So as you can see, the yellow parts are incomplete, and the goal would be to have these yellow portions of all of the content area standards completed by the end of this year. So something as you are looking through these standards and trying to find out more about how to teach these, if we're not sure if we have the correct resources, the first place I would recommend going is to the Learning Lab. So if you go to the IDOE Learning Lab, you'd have to log in. And then if you go to either resources, or even if you just click this search button, and you can see I've been looking up different blueprints. But if you type in 2023 science grade 5, for example, it'll come up with all of these science frameworks. So down here you could go to grade 5, click on that, and then view this resource. So this is a framework, as you can see, Indiana Academic Standards Frameworks from the Department of Education, where they really have given you a lot of resources for each of these standards. So it lists down the side, these are each of the standards. They're all hyperlinks, but then it also tells you which ones are essential. And then it tells you some of the other portions of that standard. So you can see if it's a performance expectation. So let's just go to the first one. So again, if I see grade 5 science, this is an essential standard, 5 PS11, and then the framework 5 PS11. If I click this hyperlink, it'll take me to the frameworks for that standard. So this gives me a lot of information. So things that can help assist you in teaching. Down below, it gives you some different academic vocabulary. So going back to the framework, all of this academic vocabulary should match. I have received an email from a South Bend school that says there was a first grade science standard that the language changed from discussing things that happen in one's community, and then the language changed to small town. So some of the standard language might be different as the state has just unveiled these new frameworks. But for the most part, it all seems to be matching. The academic vocabulary matches, the evidence statements match. They're still essential or standards. But if we go back to the framework for that specific standard, it kind of walks you through what the student should be able to do by the end of the unit. And it tells you the prerequisite standards that would be happening and what would be coming up next in future years. And then also it gives you some instructional resources for that standard. The universal supports for all learners, that's using the MTSS procedures. We use RTI. So if you wanted to look through that, if you have some students who have different exceptionalities, our students are going to most likely, for the most part, be able to be successful with the grade level standards with some modifications that you're all aware of. So it gives also a formative assessment exemplar as an example if you wanted to, if you were looking for an example of how to assess students in checking if they were at mastery or not. And to that point, because we know different grades have different iLearn assessment expectations, if you teach a content area or grade level that is taking an iLearn assessment, I would also focus on providing these assessments in class if you don't already have an assessment. Again, going back to the St. Louis Academy curriculum map, there is not an assessment area, but you could put that under the activities, resources, checks for understanding. You could link one of those assessments so that you have something that you know is going to be assessing if the students mastered that. So I just wanted to walk through this with you so you could see this resource and how to use it and how to use the IDOE standard frameworks for all the new 2023 standards, and how that will help you as we work to complete all of the St. Louis Academy frameworks for the new 2023 standards. Again, this is just an ongoing process that we will be completing throughout the year because we've only focused on ELA math and then a couple of the middle school compartmentalized classes. I hope that helps. I hope it gives you something to look forward to, as the state has created a lot of these things for us, and we'll continue to work together. Thank you.